Hello, my viewer. My name is still remains Chemist Emeka, the founder of Skills by Chemist Emeka. In this particular video, we'll be talking on soap making 101. That is introduction to soap making. As you can see, so what we are going to be looking at is introduction to soap making, materials and ingredients needed. So that is the ingredients needed, sorry. So now let's talk on soap making. First of all, we are going to talk about the introduction aspect of soap making. In this introduction, we are going to be looking at the meaning of soap. The meaning of soap. The whole process in soap making is known as saponification reaction. It's known as saponification reaction. It's known as saponification reaction. So what is this saponification reaction all about? Saponification reaction is the alkaline hydrolysis of fat or oil to form soap and glycerol. In layman understanding, saponification reaction is when you react oil, not any kind of oil or not any type of oil, because you cannot use paraffin oil for soap making because paraffin oil doesn't have saponification value. It's those oil that has saponification value that you should use. That is oil reacting with lime. Your lime is your caustic soda solution to give you what? Soap. In other words, in chemistry, oil reacting with 3 mole of sodium hydroxide to give glycerol plus 3 mole of soap. 3 mole of soap. It will give glycerol and 3 mole of soap. Don't bother about the chemical or chemistry aspect of the soap making. The second equation, don't bother about it. Just know this one. Oil reacting with caustic soda lime to give you soap. That is all on saponification reaction. Like I said, the whole process of soap making is known as saponification reaction. That is what makes soap, saponification reaction. Because at the end of your production, your soap must undergo saponification before your reactions, that is your oil and the caustic soda solution, must undergo saponification before it will be able to form soap. Now, we talk about the types of soap we have. That is, we have bathing soap, we have washing soap. Let's now move to the methods that we use in producing soap. We have various methods of producing soap, but all these methods are categorized into 2. They are categorized into 2. So we have different methods of making soap, but all these methods are categorized into 2. So we have the methods. When you talk about methods of making soap making, we have the cold process and the hot process. So like I said, we have different methods of making soap, but all the methods are just categorized into 2: cold process and hot process. The other process or other sub process that we have is libatching, melting, that is melt and pour method. We also have semi-boiling method, but all these methods are classified into cold process and hot process. Like that, the batching method is classified under hot process. The semi-boiling method is classified in between the cold process and the hot process. Then the melt and pour is classified under hot process. That is why I said all these methods are classified into two methods, which is the cold process and the hot process. So now, the cold process, the production takes place in a cold environment. That is, the chemical that you are using is in a cold environment. Then the oil is also in a cold environment. In here you need to allow your caustic soda to cool down, or you can allow it to stand for 24 hours before using, or more than 24 hours before using. But in hot process, it requires a hot environment. The temperature must be high. This cold process takes place in a cool temperature, while this hot process takes place in a hot temperature. That is, it requires heating. It requires heat. That is, you prepare your caustic soda immediately and use it immediately, and it requires cooking of the soap on fire. So that is it on the methods of soap making. Let's now move to the materials that you need. So the materials, that is the second thing. The materials that you use depend on the capacity you want to operate. If you are, because majorly soap making is divided into two major parts, which is the automatic operation part and the manual operation part. If you are to use automatic operation part, that means you need a heavy machinery such as prodder machine. You need a prodder machine. You need a crusher. You need a mixer or boiler. Then you need a cutting machine. These are the things that will give you in heavy industry. They are the things that will, or in a big industry that use machine to produce their soap. This is what will make their soap to come out fine. So the prodder machine, the mixer or the boiler boils the soap. That is where you boil the soap. After boiling the soap, you discharge it on the floor and allow it to solidify on the floor. Then you cut it. After cutting it, you now send it into the crusher. The crusher will crush it into fine particles. After crushing it into fine particles, you will take it to the prodder machine. The prodder machine will now prod it and give it a long bar shape, and it will refine it into a long bar shape. Then you now take it to the cutting machine. The cutting machine will cut it into tablet form. So that is it. But majorly what I want to talk here is majorly on manual process or manual method. So in here, when we are talking about manual method, we are talking about producing soap with your hand at comfort of your home. You can use your home, or you can use one shop to start running soap production in manual method. But if it's all this automatic method, you need a bigger space where you can mount your machine. So in this manual method, the materials that we need in this manual method are very easy. It's what we have found in our environment, what we use every day. So you need the first material. You need a measuring scale. Which is what is here. You need a measuring scale. This is a bigger scale. This is a manual scale, but I will advise you to use kitchen scale. That is electronic scale. Those small scale. use electronic scale because that one is more specific in reading. Then you need a measuring apparatus such as beaker, measuring cylinder for weighing the volume of your chemicals. Then you need a measuring bucket where you will measure your bucket. You need a turning stick or blending stick. You need something like this. You need spoon like this. You need spoon like this. This spoon help in scrubbing your soap from the production bowl. Then you need a bowl like this. If you are going for larger production, you need a bowl like this. Then you still need a drum like this if you are going for larger production, where you can be storing your oil or where you can be dissolving your caustic soda. That is a thicker drum for dissolving your caustic soda. So then you need a mold. You need soap kit. That is soap kit. You need soap kit. That is your mold, your cutter, your stamp, your cutting table, which is what we are using. This table is the cutting table. So yeah, so this is our mold. As you can see, this is our mold. So this is our cutter, as you can see. So you need all these things. So these are the small things that you need. And if you cannot afford all these things, you can use carton as your improvised mold. As you can see, you can use carton as your improvised mold. Once you line your carton, you open the carton, line it, then pour in your soap. You can use it as an improvised mold. You put nylon in the carton, line it very well, then pour in your soap and use it as your improvised mold. At the end, you now unmold it and use already made soap like this, and use knife to cut your soap. Use already made soap for your measurement and use knife to cut your soap. So that is the economic part of soap making if you don't have much money to start it. So you can start soap making with any amount. You can produce soap with any amount, but in commercial way, it's not that you can start soap with any amount, that you just start to soap making with 5,000. No, you can produce soap with 5,000, maybe soap that you want to use in your house. But if you want to go into commercial way, you want to be producing in a small quantity, you can manage starting with 50,000 naira in a smaller quantity. You can manage starting with 50,000 naira. From 50,000 naira upward, there is no amount that is much in soap making. So that is it. Now let's move to the ingredient. But before we move to the ingredients, there's another equipment which is known as hydrometer. Though I'm not a fan of hydrometer because I don't use hydrometer in my production. I use saponification value of oil in my production. I do my calculation using saponification value of oil, which is what I will talk on in our next video. Now let's move to the ingredients needed. So the ingredients that you need in your soap making, I will advise everybody to make their formulation simple. Whenever you are making soap, don't add all the additives in the world in your soap. Just make your formulation simple. The only ingredient that you need in your soap making are, you need caustic soda, then oil and oil. These are the major chemical: caustic soda and oil. Any type of oil you are using, depending on the saponification value of the oil, that is what will determine the amount of caustic soda needed. So you need caustic soda and oil. That is the major chemical in soap making. These two things what form soap. Under normal, these two things are the things that you should use to produce your soap. Simple. But if you want to add additive, you can go to minor chemical, which is additives. That is, additives There are many additives, but me, if I'm to add additive in my soap, I will only make my additive simple by adding soda ash dense, sodium silicate. We also have sodium silicate. We also have color. Your color is also an additive. Then your perfume. Just make your formulation simple. You can see what I just measured, the ingredients that I just measured, there are about 6 ingredients. But you see some people adding 11 ingredients in soap making. You see some adding calcium carbonate, that is calcium triisocarbonate 4. You see them adding sodium sulfate, and so on and so forth. You see some people adding bolar salt, industrial salt, and so on and so forth. Those things are not necessarily in a simple soap production. So these are the chemicals here. This is the caustic soda. This is our caustic soda. The caustic soda looks like a salt. It looks like a salt or sugar. But this is soda ash dense. It also looks like a sugar, but it is in powder form it has a powder particles compared to caustic soda. Caustic soda is highly corrosive, so when you are handling it, you need to be very careful. This is our PKO. You can also use other oil like palm oil, bleach palm oil, soya beans oil, tallow, and so on and so forth. This is our color. We have we have varieties of colors here. This is our color. So these are the major. Then this is our sodium silicate gallon. So these are the things that you need in soap making. Just make your soap making the formulation simple in order to minimize the cost of production and also to make profit. By the time you start adding much additive in your soap, first of all, you are compromising the properties of the soap, and also you are indirectly reducing the cost of increasing the cost of production, which will result not making profits in soap making. So the safety that you need to follow while making soap is that you must have a nose mask because of the smell of the caustic soda, which is highly corrosive. Then you must have a hand glove. You must put on a valor. You must can have a goggle. Then you can also have a cover shoe, and so on and so forth. Whatever you know that to protect you, you must put it on. But all these things are not necessary if you have mastered it. But as a beginner, you must have all these things because precaution is better than cure. So that is it on this introduction to soap making. In our next video, we'll be talking on how you can produce soap, or how you can get the amount of your caustic soda using the saponification value of different oil. Bye for now. Thanks. So, if you want to register for our training, online training, just go around in the comment box, click on the link there, which will direct you to our Telegram group, where you see the payment detail and make your payment and be added to the training group. If you still want physical training, we offer physical training in our production factory here in Enugu. Many people have been coming here. Even people come from Kaduna, Lagos to learn soap making here in Enugu in our factory. So bye once again.